MVP, 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 MVP. Ladies and gentlemen, debate amongst friends, right back. Wednesday, Doc. We had news, we had highlights, we had lowlights. How you doing?
We had a little bit of the bubbly.
No, we didn't. I didn't.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm doing good, man. I can't say the same for some NBA teams this week. Obviously, we did Dark Side of the Ring yesterday. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Bucks getting spanked. But before we do that,
let's get to the NBA awards that happened this week so far.
Go for it.
I
have a controversial statement to make.
NBA Coach of the Year, the New York Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau winning it. And
I don't have anything controversial.
Yesterday,
I thought he deserved it.
Just newly crowned before his game. Well, actually, after his game, because it happened.
After his game, yeah.
Nikola Jokic is the 2020-2021 regular season most valuable player. Doc, the floor is yours.
So,
and before Doc goes in, I'm still perfect.
No, you're killing it. I'll say this. I don't want to take away from his game. He's a very, very dominant player. He's been playing great.
He's going to take away from his game.
However, I feel like people don't like Joel Embiid more than people like Jokic. The fact that Joel Embiid only got 1% of votes, and we talked about it.
He only had one first place vote.
I thought it was percent. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
The fact that he only had one vote, and we talked about this and before, and thank God I didn't see LeBron James in there. I know this would have been a completely different show.
No, he had a fifth place vote,
which is fine.
Yeah.
Chris Paul had two first place votes, which I was pretty happy to see.
Yeah, I still think that he should have been top 3 in the finalists. But I
can agree with that. I personally felt that there's something about Joel Embiid that people just don't like. And I think that hurts his chance of winning these awards. Because when I look at their games, I really feel like, although I know the Nuggets need Jokic right now, but the Sixers also need Embiid really bad.
Again, this goes back to what we keep talking about. How do you define the most valuable player?
Well, in this situation, obviously, when you look at it, hindsight, looking at it now, or even looking at it from a larger scope, if you really look at the most valuable player on a team, you would have to give it most likely to Luka Doncic. 35.7 points, almost 8 rebounds, 10 assists. I mean, the guy was all over the place. However, for some reason, he didn't get that push, I guess, or whatever that nomination or whatever it is that would put him in that race. And then after that, you would have had someone like a Donovan Mitchell, but he got hurt. So in my opinion, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yes, Jokic
who did not receive any MVP votes.
Right. Again, injuries. I look at the people here. Obviously, Dame was up there. I think Dame got injured. KD got injured. Donovan got injured. I'm not sure about Kawhi and Jason Tatum.
Kevin Durant did not get any votes for it.
Yeah. Injuries. Makes sense. Their numbers are skewed because of the games that they played.
Yes.
Which is why Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic are in the running. I'm not saying that Jokic doesn't deserve it. He had 31 points a game, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, he really played really well. Embiid does have lower numbers, but when we're talking about impact, I believe that Joel Embiid, in my opinion, is a better player.
and we tend to have these issues every single year with MVP. I even said it like during the offseason. I'm like, I think Joel Embiid's going to win the MVP.
He should have.
In fact, I'm pretty sure we both said like he probably should have won it last year.
Either. He probably should have.
But I can agree what you're saying about Joel Embiid. But can we take a moment to talk about why Steph Curry got 5 first place votes?
We know why. You know why. Why don't you stop?
Does it mean that we're right about this then? That people are just prisoners of the moment?
Steph deserved MVP. I would say Steph deserved those 5 MVP votes based on him.
The first place votes.
First, that's what I'm saying. You said 5 first place votes. That's what I'm saying. 5. I hope I said 5 votes. He received those 5 votes for carrying his team to an opportunity to play into that playing game.
Yeah.
That's it. Some people are just amazed by what he does. Next season, if they get Clay back, hopefully they'll be dangerous again. Wiseman obviously will return. But honestly, I don't blame them. I mean, obviously he didn't score as much as he normally did because he also injuries and a lot of things going on there. So I get it. But Jokic won. He deserved it. Tibbs won. He deserves it. Anybody that can carry the Knicks from the bottom up to the playoffs of 4th place like the Horsemen, he deserves it.
All I said was Tibbs was going to win Coach of the Year, but I'm pretty sure Monty Williams should have definitely won that one as well. So he was just as deserving, which is why I said that I made the same case about Chris Paul. He literally can't defeat him around.
So I'm saying that the only reason that I think he didn't win in Phoenix, like either one of them, number one, Chris Paul, he didn't have the numbers. And it's all about the points most of the time.
Which is just...
I really believe that.
We're not going to go.
It comes down to the points, yes.
Keep going.
But the Suns, what they did in the bubble last season before the playoffs, right? When they didn't make it, but they had that undefeated run, right? We knew that they were on the upswing. Getting Chris Paul was, not the icing on the cake, but more like sprinkles.
And Doc loves him some sprinkles, folks.
I love sprinkles. And he's really just a hamstring away from
there, though, brought them from 9th at the end of last season to 2nd.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's like we knew that they were on the upswing. The Knicks had no. The Knicks had no. I would say nobody had hope for the Knicks to make a dramatic change from wherever they were last year. Obviously not 9, 10, or 11. Well, I don't know where they were. But for them to go to the bottom to number 4, come on. That's huge.
No, that sounds almost the same, but we're not going to go there.
No, we're talking about the bottom. The Suns were on the cusp. The Knicks were on the bottom.
But for those that don't know, and we will put this up on our Twitter page at Debate Amongst Fra. The top 5 for total points in MVP votes, because now they're putting that stuff out there because everyone wants to argue about it and debate about it because it's a thing. Of course, Jokic is top place. Joel Embiid, runner-up. Steph Curry, the ultra penultimate. Giannis Antetokounmpo, number 4, and rounding out the top 5 is Chris Paul.
Like I said, all great players. All great players.
Everyone but one made the playoffs.
I'm not going there.
Everyone but one made the playoffs. Anyone who says Steph Curry needs to be MVP, everyone but one made the playoffs.
Well, now the question is, do we I know it's a play-in tournament. Are they counting that?
And I asked you that.
Yeah, are they counting that as a playoff? You know what I'm saying? It's a play-in, But because it's an extension of the playoffs? Like, are they counting that? I wonder.
Or is it an extension of the regular season? Because we made the same argument about March Madness with the first 4 end games.
I don't know. Dang well, I don't know anymore. But either way, I mean, him getting the team there is the only reason.
Yep. And we're going to move on, but I just have one last
comment. Of course.
The fact that Anthony Davis has no MVP votes is a crime within itself.
Injuries.
LeBron got 1, and he was injured just as long as AD.
LeBron is the king. He gets an exemption every year, and I don't even know why you combat the powers that be.
Oh no, I'm not LeBron. Anything.
Yeah, you can't. You shouldn't even guess it. I mean, LeBron. Maybe they're looking at LeBron before the injury.
All I did was made a statement. That's all I did.
Right.
That's all I.
I don't think Anthony Davis really played too much before the injury. I didn't think he played that well before the injury, in my opinion. I think LeBron was not on an MVP race way, but it's freaking LeBron James, man. I mean, he's the king, man. He's the goatie. I mean, people love him, man. He's better than Jordan. He's better than Kobe. He's better than Kareem. He's better than all these guys, man. He's the goatie.
We're gonna move on to
the guy's eating grass, man.
To a team that's getting clapped.
Yeah, clapped.
As Doc likes to say, his new favorite word. The Milwaukee Bucks down 0-2 to the Brooklyn Nets. They were down at one point in this game by 49 points. And the score doesn't reflect it, but that's really, really bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Now this is without James Harden, by the way.
This is without James Harden, who left in the first minute of game 2. But did you know, Doc, because now I like to drop these little nuggets during these conversations. Did you know that this was not the worst loss in Bucks playoff history? Their biggest loss was to the Bulls, and they lost by 55 points.
Is that the Bulls with Derrick Rose? I think I remember that loss.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I think I remember that loss. And speaking of loss, hold on really quickly here. We have breaking news here on Debate Among Friends. I know you're going to hear this at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but the Indiana Pacers have fired Nate Jordan. We practiced his name before, didn't we?
We have.
I can't remember if the B was silent or the J was silent. Jorkin. I'm going to say Jorkin.
Yeah, I think it's Jorkin.
I think the B is silent. He has lost the locker room. His first season, 1 season. I wonder if they feel like there's somebody out there that they just want.
That's exactly what it is. When you see something like this, that means they found the coach that they really want to bring in.
Yeah, so he's out 1 year. That's pretty rough, but they made the playoffs, right? Or they wouldn't play in.
They wouldn't play in.
They lost they got busted up too. They got busted up in that playoff game. Really, really bad.
Yes.
So I could see why they would say that. It didn't look good, but dang, 1 year, that's not long enough when people are getting, 5 and 6 years to turn around a team, and the Pacers need somebody that's going to be able to turn it around. But they
just lost Oladipo.
Right. I mean, but then they got Karis LeVert. They have some really, really good talent. So I expect them.
That just means that they found the coach that they want.
I believe they did. But I don't know what's going on with Milwaukee. Right now, they're down 0-2. And for our Evolution fans, once you go 0-2, usually it's over.
Well, I mean, if you go 0-2, you're finished. You're finished if it comes to, fighting.
Well, if you go, because it's, okay, so 0-1, you go to losers.
Yes. Yeah.
So in this situation, the Bucks are in losers. They're over losers. Yeah. So then we got the Phoenix Suns versus the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets beat. Actually, no. The Nuggets lost to the Phoenix Suns. And let me tell you how I woke up. And I saw the game. It was pretty close, right? Why did I wake up and the first headline I see, Suns rout Nuggets? And I'm like, are you guys serious? It's like, it was close. It was very close. The game was close. Am I wrong? The game was pretty close.
Yeah, and they basically pulled away late in the fourth.
Pulled away, not cruised, not shellacked, not spanked. Yeah, like it's like don't do that to the Nuggets. They don't deserve that. But anyway, the Suns beat the Nuggets.
Yeah.
They're again these are good teams. This particular matchup is really good. I would think it favors the Suns because actually I would think it favors the Nuggets because I don't think Ayton alone. Number one, because I don't believe in Alex Len. I don't think Ayton alone can. Excuse me, not Alex Len.
I was like, wait, who?
Yeah. Alex Len's not on the team anymore. I don't think they have the forwards. He's not even there anymore. It's only Ayton. You got Crowder. You got Bridges. You got Cameron Johnson. They don't really play Saric a lot, so they don't. But they don't play Kaminsky.
Not that much, no.
And that's the thing about it. So it's like they're not playing the big. So I would think that Jokic versus Ayton, and then you got Aaron Gordon. You got a few bigs on that Nugget team. Michael Porter Jr. Like they're pretty big forwards. I would think that it favors the Nuggets, but Phoenix was able to really just score and get on a hot streak. I mean, mostly everybody in the starting lineup here, with the exception of Crowder, shot over 55% from the field.
Yeah, Chris Paul dropped 14 in the fourth quarter. Basically went perfect in that quarter, which definitely helped them pull away. I mean, if you want, so analysts used to talk about closers in the past. They don't talk about closers anymore. I don't know if you noticed this, Doc. It's about a player that can just seal the game if it's too close.
That's because there's too many big threes. There's too many big threes. It's like that's why, and we'll get to the last game, but that's why it's so important for a team like Utah.
I do agree.
Which we'll get to. We'll get to that.
We'll get to them. Oh, don't worry, we'll get to them.
But
big shout out to Chris Paul, though. I mean, he's not hamstringing, as Doc likes to say.
Exactly. If the hamstring is healthy, then the Suns are fine. He said Suns in 6. I'll never doubt him again. If he tells me that they're going to win in a certain amount of games, I believe it. But the one thing I will say,
real quick fun fact though, the Suns starters in the fourth quarter only missed one shot.
How can you beat that? So if they would have said the Suns routed the Nuggets in the fourth,
you would have believed
we would have been good. Yeah,
but, I mean,
they
didn't. They won the fourth quarter 34-26. It wasn't really
so even
it was
still
closing it.
Yeah, it would have been perfect. Would have been perfect. But looking at the other game, the Utah Jazz versus the LA Clippers, and then the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Hawks.
Yes, let's start with the Hawks game.
Okay, so we went. I think we know the Hawks won game 1, and Embiid was hurt or whatever. He played, but he was hurt. I think we might even went over it a little.
Yeah,
I think we went over the first game.
Yep.
The second game, Philadelphia said, "Listen, where's the process? I don't care what you say. Where's the process?"
I really hope they didn't say it like that.
They might have said it like that. They might have said it exactly like that because they came out hot, and B was like, "Put the ball on, put the game on my shoulders. I'm going to give you everything I got." Right. Tobias Harris continues to show up, even though I think last year he was pretty cold. But this year he's showing up. Seth Curry was hot, 61, almost 62% from the field, 83%.
60 points.
Yeah, 61, almost 62% from the field.
Yeah.
83% from 3, 5 for 6. 21 points, and 2 assists. He didn't do anything else. But I mean, even from the bottom of the rotation, they had to throw Shake Milton in there, and he was giving them
big game.
Yeah, he was giving them great minutes. So
yes, in fact, that was one of the major stories out of this game, was the fact that he gave them such a spark because they were kind of lagging a little bit.
He was actually, speaking of that closing personality, he was actually giving closing-esque buckets.
This is true.
His
Dropping
buckets,
8 points in the
yeah,
fourth.
his buckets looked really, really like somebody that, hey, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but one of these years, we might be saying Shake Milton is one of the top 20 players in the NBA if he gets
Who
a real
knows?
shot.
Yes.
Somebody will overpay for him, guaranteed.
Of course. It's gonna
Just
be
like I said,
Rockets.
it's I don't know. We have so many guards, unless you trade John Wall to the Knicks, and that's something completely different. But
We actually have too
let's.
many guards too, actually.
Oh, you're gonna get rid of one. Don't worry about it. But the young Hawks, Trae Young, 21 points, 11 assists. I know this was a chippy game,
It
a
was a
couple
very
pushes
chippy
here and
game.
there. Gallinari dropped 21 and 9. I mean, John Collins 8-10. So I mean, it's not like the Hawks were, dominated.
No.
This is just still a young team going
Yeah,
against
and
the process.
I think what really hurt them was the fact that like Bogdan Bogdanovic didn't have the type of game that he had like last game or even during the Knicks series. He only scored 14 points, 6 for 16 shooting. Same thing with Trae Young, 6 for 16 shooting. But Trae got to the line though, 8 out of 9, whereas Bogdan didn't even get on the line at all. So like those are small things that people kind of will overlook, but like it's pretty important.
I can understand
plus,
that.
Clint Capella didn't really, he wasn't able to terrorize the paint like he did in game one either.
Him and John Collins both were in foul trouble. He ended up with 5. John Collins fouled out. So, I mean, like I said, the 76ers aren't a bad team. I really believe that they should be able to eliminate the Hawks within 5.
Ooh, he's throwing it out there, folks.
Yeah, they should be. They should be able to eliminate them.
This will
we'll
be a
see.
6-game series.
It should be 5 though. It'll probably go to 6, but it really should be 5.
Okay. 5 for the Sixers, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Don't try to play the process. I'm just kidding. They could go easily. They could get eliminated easily. It's okay.
Eliminated.
and then in the last game, obviously we had game 1 of the Utah versus Clippers series, where of course Bleacher Report once again and other news outlets, Dwayne Wade is out there coaching up Donovan Mitchell, making sure that he knows how to attack. And I'm like, this man is a professional bucket getter. I mean, he's just out there. There you go. Yes, exactly. They're fishing. That's exactly what they're doing. You got the 6th man of the year. It was Jordan Clarkson, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The reigning 6th man of the year, dropping 18. Obviously, the potential defensive player of the year. Obviously, potential.
I'm still calling that shot.
10 and 12 with 2 blocks. And Donovan Mitchell dropped 45 points. This Bogdanovic dropped 18 points and shot a little bit better from the field. Not much. Not by much. Maybe it was just an off night for the Bogdanoviches.
I'm just saying. And they played on the same night too.
Yeah, maybe this is just one of those nights. The Bogdanoviches don't like
just
playing.
One of them days.
Yeah, they don't like playing on Tuesdays. So maybe it's just one of those things.
Also, quickly, Pacers is eyeing the former Blazers head coach,
Terry Stotts.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be it. So
yep.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, like I said, he's not a bad coach. He's not a bad coach. They just need a fresh voice probably in that locker room for all teams involved: the Blazers, the Magic, and the Pacers. The Pacers need someone tough. I don't know if Stotts is the guy. Honestly, and I know people don't want to hear this, but the Pacers probably need Mark Jackson.
Blacklisted.
I know he has, but I think the Pacers need somebody who's really tough. Heck, I've even heard Juwan Howard's name thrown around for a few of these openings, but I didn't think he was leaving Michigan either. But
he has something really good. He wants to at least make it to at least a Final Four. at least the Final Four, before doing anything else. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this coaching carousel unwind even further, because we still have plenty of hirings and whatnot to happen. Heck, the Blazers might actually get Mike D'Antoni, which would be interesting, because he is the assistant coach, I want to say, on the Nets. Yes, assistant coach for the Nets. But yes, the Clippers, they just had a bad shooting night. I mean, Kawhi got 23 points, 9 for 19. I mean, it wasn't the most consistent game, but he kind of helped carry them to the Game 7 win against the Mavericks. I mean, Paul George, I don't know what's going on with him. He has been just the most inconsistent person on this team, while taking the most shots out there. And it's actually pretty ridiculous. Marcus Morris was trying to help establish some toughness. But, I mean, again, it was just a really, really bad shooting night for the Los Angeles Clippers. Of course, people after the game is talking about, are the Clippers done? Is Paul George done? It's only the first game in the 7-game series. Let's all calm it down, take a sip of your beer, and let's see what happens in Game 2. But just like Doc said, the Jazz was just firing on all cylinders, despite the fact that the Clippers did have a well-established lead by halftime. It was just at the halftime, they just stalled out, essentially. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen in Game 2. But, folks, tonight we have Game 2 of the Nuggets and Suns series. Of course, we already mentioned the reigning, defending, undisputed, most valuable player, Nikola Jokic, hoping to bounce back after that Game 1 loss to the Suns. And we're going to see what the Suns have in store. We want to see if they can still follow the same game plan, like Doc mentioned, and see if they can make this series 2-0. Doc, who you got?
I am going to stick with the Suns.
Hey, I cannot blame you for that. I think if the Nuggets have the same type of shooting slump night that they had, and, unable to establish things, then it's just going to become just a problematic series for them going forward. But I am going to stick with the Suns too. I think they have something special going on this year, and I'm going to keep going with them. So
there you go. And then, of course, I think the Clippers will make it interesting, but I don't know if Utah will be able to close, but they've proven us wrong so far. But that's all we have for today's show. If you are listening to the sound of my voice, you know that you found us on your favorite podcast platform. If you didn't and you couldn't find it for some reason, which I know you probably couldn't, you can always find us at www.debateamongstfriends.com. All of our episodes, including this one. And you'll find us here Monday through Friday, every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for more analysis, more news, and the read.